Hello, everybody. So, in the wake of the laudacious TikTok hearings that happened yesterday, I wanted to talk about algorithms. I wanted to talk about what makes TikTok different from everywhere else, and I also wanted to talk about why data matters a bit. So, let's start with the why data matters. What data matters because whenever you are on a social media service and you are not paying to use said service, you are the product. You are the product. The content you generate um and the thing and your personal preferences are used to build a profile about you. And you can actually go on your Google and see what Google thinks like your likes are and what it's and what how it profiles you as a person. It's pretty spooky. And all of the big platforms do this. If Meta does this, Facebook does this, Google does this. Google is especially big for it because they are, in a lot of cases, the internet. Um, and what this metadata does is it is sold to governments, it is sold to marketing agencies to um, better serve you advertisements algorithmically. And similar to in places like in social media platforms will use these profiles they've built of you to suggest new content for you to look at to keep you on the platform longer. And why am I talking about all of this? It's because TikTok categorically has had the best video algorithm, has had the best algorithm to keep people on the app. People spend an average of 90 minutes a day, and that is average. Many people spend a lot more time on the app. You got to remember that the numbers of people who just have looked at it once or twice and then just never open the app again are included in that which brings the overall amount of time down. So TikTok's algorithm is particularly amazing from a computer design standpoint, where it is able to really quickly pick up on what grabs you based off of interaction, based off how long you watch something, based off how long you rewatch something, based on your search history, and it basically sort of gets you it basically feeds into like what you want to watch and shows it to you. That's what it's built to do. Why am I sharing this? Watch this.
As a conservative from the great state of Texas, I am deeply concerned because every time I use the TikTok application, I am served nothing but dancing homosexuals, fluffers, and drag queens. And I'd like you to explain right now how algorithms work.
That elderly Texan just outed himself on live television. Get the fuck out the closet. You out now, bitch. But jokes aside, this is why I say to people, if you are a appreciator of the female form, as much as you'd like to watch, scroll past videos of women shaking their ass or being hot or amazing and just being, women because women are amazing, because it's all that's going to be on your algorithm. And you're better off engaging in your interests, as long as those interests aren't appendages of people you find attractive. And because again, the algorithm will serve you whatever you want. And this feeds back to a previous either podcast or video I did on Meta, and them basically looking to sort of, they have, both Google and Meta have been categorically unable to get an algorithm remotely close to TikTok. YouTube's done a pretty decent job, but they also feed in your own personal video interests with it as well, at least a little bit. Or no, reverse. Your shorts interest can also suggest your YouTube preferences, which can be two separate things. I know they are for me. But so while Meta has had a terrible time, so what they've decided, while they've, again, just to reiterate a previous video, while they have the money to do so, they wanted to lobby to get rid of a competitor that they could not buy, and they could not outperform themselves. So, what is the point of all this? I think TikTok. I I'm gonna go against the grain and say that Biden is probably not going to ban TikTok. The reason I say that is because I think it would basically delete and like all of like I'm not saying that like Gen Zers would start voting for Republicans, they just wouldn't vote. Or if they did vote, what would end up happening is that a lot of people will vote for Marianne Williamson in the primary in 2024. Blech. Regardless, um, the algorithms that I think the TikTok algorithm is interesting. I think it is very powerful, and I think I think that at the end of the day, these aren't going away. These are a really, really powerful thing, and unless the government sort of restricts not necessarily what data is collected, but like how that data and where that data can be sold, I think not only just like should they also like change like what data can be collected about people, but also like in the manner on how that data can be used. I think one of the solutions to sort of fix the overreaching feeling everybody has of like not having any privacy whatsoever is having I would say a government solution. I would say a federal uh, thing where you put in you know your most like you if and maybe even use it as an incentive to get people to pay their taxes. Um, if like you just take your take your IRS identification like from the last year, and then you use that identification to authenticate that you're a U.S. citizen and that this is someone you're dealing with, and then you put in a thing into a government portal, and then they automatically mail out a thing to and they basically have a list of people that everybody that have requested a all of their data be removed from the servers, or at least a wipe. And it doesn't get rid of your accounts or anything, but it does wipe you from the algorithm temporarily in terms of like your identity. And then say these firms have a month to comply with this, otherwise they start getting a fine for each thing, and they can see how many more they got to do and how many have to get done by just looking at it, and it's on them. And if they don't, and if it's not done and it is noticed that they're not done, the government can start levying fines against them, which I think would be great. Regardless, I think that we're gonna have to like if anything, we've seen anything from the debacle the other day yesterday was the fact of just how out of touch so many of the boomers and old fucks in Congress are, and just how much they just don't understand technology. And I think places like Meta, who were lobbying these people to get rid of a competitor, probably didn't realize that these old fucks were more scared of the idea of social media and the idea of social media data as a concept more than they are of like China having access to it, because lack of understanding of new technology is arguably more terrifying to these people than just their blatant xenophobia. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I am going to be back in Wilmington tomorrow, and we'll be resumed to our normal streaming podcasting shenanigans, and I will see you guys next time.